When I was lying in bed this morning, I had a vision of a card that I have literally not seen in a reading for so long, like I literally can't even remember. So I had a little conversation with Spirit in regards to why it hasn't come up, and I was like, is it I actually asked, is it even in my deck? There it is, upside down. And this was my point. Thank you, Spirit, just make that. So the Ten of Cups, I haven't seen in the upright. I haven't seen out in a reading. I can't remember how long. And I wanted to ask the cards, or ask Spirit why, because I feel like I could talk all day about why this card hasn't come up, and there's been quite a lot of videos and readings and stuff where I voice my opinions as to why the Ten of Cups isn't coming up in readings, but I thought I would let the cards and the energy tell you. So I'll just, the Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. It's, you're happily ever after. So me and Spirit had a bit of a conversation as to why the Ten of Cups hasn't been coming up in readings, and I just thought I'll share what we spoke about. So you've got the Hierophant, Ace of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So this is just giving me the energy of it's, the Hierophant can speak of traditions and institutions and like hierarchy, and I always get a very sort of traditional, that's the way it's always been kind of energy from a Hierophant. And the Ace of Pentacles is like the nicest energy of card. This is a gift from God. This is, given by God's hand. And the Page of Pentacles in my deck actually looks really disappointed about his pentacle. So I am getting the energy that the disappointment. Well, that definitely the Five of Cups coming out on the top of that little reading is basically the disappointment that we feel when traditional values and traditional ways of being, traditional ways of looking at how life should be, traditions in regards to the family unit, traditions in regards to society and our cultures, and things that are drummed into us, from our parents, from, the media, from the way that it's always been. I literally just did a reading on Instagram about this yesterday. It seems to be a theme at the moment, but this is sort of like working outside the realms of what is acceptable and looking at that there are other options. This is the Three of Wands. I love this card because of the vulnerability of the man. And for me, this is how we should look at our emotional fulfillment. Our emotional fulfillment doesn't come from something outside of ourselves. It's very much an internal journey, and this is somebody deciding that they need to be looking out onto a new adventure, but also being vulnerable. You know, he's not taking all the wands with him, he's got just one and his little cloak. You know, like he is expressing himself to the world as well. I always get that kind of energy from this card. You know, he's bare chested, he's, you know, barely covering his private parts to the world. You know, this is a very vulnerable energy that he's showing to the world. And this, I believe, is where emotional fulfillment comes from. I believe it's in our vulnerability to ourselves and to our loved ones and our family unit that actually brings this emotional fulfillment, in being honest with ourselves and in our connections. That is where real growth and real change and harmony comes from. I feel like society has us building such an outside picture, a more sort of like Ten of Pentacles kind of energy. You know, the car, the house, the job, you know, all this sort of external wealth, that we are less likely to look at the oh wow. yeah so the reason why I'm putting the two knights down is because the card flipped over and that's how I saw them, and I feel like that's the conflict, is the Knight of Wands against the Knight of Swords in the reverse. It's that sort of action against the mind, you know, the internal, and this is what these two cards are. It's very much the conflict of doing rather than being. You know, we never say that we would like to be content. You know, there's always this sort of like, you know, the highs of achieving something, the disharmony. The disharmony between the constant need to chase and I saw a really good video about this, about in regards to like our hormone imbalances when we are, you know, rushing for the dopamine, and you know, we get addicted to these big hormonal releases. It's like our chemistry is keeping us sort of in these cycles, and you know, for the body to be at peace is, you don't get the big highs of the hormone highs and lows. It explained it really, really well, because it's the thought processes that really sort of unearth the big hormone changes, and that's how we end up with, you know, big actions and repetitive behaviours, basically all from thought processes. And being content and being, you know, happy doesn't give us those big lifts in hormones, you know, that addictive behaviour. It's almost like you have to train yourself to be in that sort of more balanced, you know, just that steady chug in yourself, in your, you know, where your hormones and your thought processes are not going up and down and all over the place. And that's the two knights either side causing this really big disharmony. You know, we're either swinging the pendulum from like humongous drama and struggle into like living it up for the weekend and partying and getting shit-faced and going on benders for the whole week, only to come down to the other side and, have to really work and earn and stress and, grind for the rest of the week to be able to earn that weekend again. It's that kind of... And I've got the Emperor here with the Queen of Swords. The Three of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. So this is giving me the energy that there is... There is this need to be the boss, like to have everything worked out, I just get this sort of like the Emperor almost has like a feeling of bordering on isolation. That's the sort of energy that I'm getting. The Queen of Swords in the upright is someone who is logical, articulate. I always, with the female, with the Queen of the Swords rather than the King of the Swords, I always see the Queen of Swords in the upright as someone who can articulate herself very well and comes across with a true word, but it's nurturing. It's almost like giving you a stroke and like a stroke and a slap. Someone who will deliver the truth, but it's for meaning and for purpose, and very intelligent. I feel like maybe this is two energies working together, that sort of... It's okay. Oh yeah, we've got the working together. Haha. The Three of Pentacles. Yeah, I am getting the feeling of like you can still be the like the boss. You can still conquer. You can still have still be the Emperor, still have that energy of buoyancy and that you can rule your whole kingdom, but you still will take advice and still take that nurturing truth into yourself to be able to come out better, if that makes sense. Like the Emperor has advisors. The Emperor doesn't just work on his own, and I'm sort of getting the energy like to manifest our dreams and to see different ways of being and to get emotional fulfillment. It's almost like you've got to let these truths in, these soft truths that might hurt, and to be more logical in your truth and be smarter in your truth, if that makes sense. Like not all truth is useful, if that makes sense. Like I can't think how to word that. Maybe the cards might give me a little bit more on how I can word that properly. I'm getting the energy that we underestimate. Yeah, we underestimate the power of actually involving others in our truth and the vulnerability of which I was talking about at the top of the reading. That actually saying what we need and what we want, and like our fears and the things that we really care about, it's up to us to be able to deliver that information in a way that is constructive and nurturing to the people around us that we would like to embark on that journey with, i.e. our families and the people that we work with, and our siblings and our family. It's up to us to say, this really hurt me, or I really don't like doing that, or I would really like to spend some more time with you, I miss you. It's up to us to be honest and to articulate ourselves in a softer way, and to approach the people that we would like to be emotionally fulfilled by in a way where it can be heard, rather than stamping our feet and you didn't do this and you didn't do that and you make me feel this way. It's almost like we have to come back to self and say, I'm feeling this way because I feel X, Y, and Z. I.e., it's normally to do with a fear that we have. It's normally that we're not really good enough, or that person doesn't care about us, or there's normally some sort of negative feeling underneath it, which normally comes from some sort of fear or abandonment, or a boundary that's being crossed continuously. So it's up to us to realise that there are other ways of going about things, other ways to get our emotions and our needs met. And then the Eight of Cups is coming out alongside the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm getting that the Queen of Pentacles is a mother. The Eight of Cups is someone. I'm getting like almost like someone needs to sort of like mother themselves. It's almost like I'm getting like a nurturing themselves. Both queens are actually looking at the Emperor, but not meeting him in his face. They're looking down. I'm just getting the energy of connecting with the feminine, I just keep getting that, the soft. So the King of Cups is just amplifying that message of the emotional fulfillment. The King of Cups is an emotionally available masculine. Funny that we've got no. I just keep getting this like swaying of energies, because we've got no matched kings or queens. Like you've got the big Emperor energy with the Queen of Swords, and then you've got the Queen of Pentacles with the King of Cups. It's just sort of like swaying from back and forth, this very materialistic and then like the emotions, it's giving me the feeling that that's keeping us sort of trapped in our head and almost stagnant, not being able to take action at all. And then you've got the Sun in reverse, which is draining. It's draining. This could also be someone becoming poorly from being stuck in their head. This is you know, and circular thoughts do have a habit of creating dis-ease. You know, this chasing money and, you know, going after all this fulfillment on the outside does generally leave us in a, you know, it leads to debt. It leads to working ridiculously hard. You know, it doesn't lead anywhere. You know, good. Fulfillment. This is what the reading is about. Emotional fulfillment. You know, this is our happily ever after. What are we really? You know, what are we really wanting? The King of Cups being here, he's all about filling his emotional cup. He's very, he's mature emotionally. You know, he can stand there and say that he's scared, and he can stand there and say that he feels vulnerable, and I'm getting the Four of Wands in reverse has just come out, and as I was saying about this King of Cups, like, and I've just got a big download as well. So the King of Cups has come out on top of the Emperor, and this is who the Emperor really is. The Emperor, the big boss man, is actually a King of Cups, and he wants to be able, the Emperor wants to say, I need help. That's what's coming out for me. That's the energy that I'm getting. The Four of Wands is, you know, is maybe of a marriage breaking down. It's, you know, the pillars of my life have fallen, you know. This is Page of Swords in reverse. This is someone who is holding back from being honest, you know. I feel like our emotional fulfillment, yeah. The King of Swords is out now. That's the first pair that we've had. And he's coming to be honest about how his heart is breaking. Like the King of Swords is, and that's the balance inside ourselves, is the honesty to say I'm hurting. You know, this is hurting me. You know, it really is hard to reach out to others, to our community, and say I am hurting, you know, like this has hurt me, because we are so taught that, you know, that we are weak. That's far too many. Spirit, can I have less, please? You know, we are weak for being hurt, when it has absolutely nothing to do with that at all. You know, to imply that we are scared of something, obviously society has drummed into us that we are weak from being children. You know, when we have asked for help, it's, you know, you can do that on your own, you know, or can't you do that on your own, or it's childlike to ask for help, you know. If you think about how you go through your day and how you go through your life and how many times you actually reach out for a helping hand. and this is basically saying that this is causing the lack and the lack of emotional fulfillment in your life is because you cannot be vulnerable. You cannot be vulnerable with yourself, and you cannot be vulnerable with the people that you are in relationships with. And this to me cements how I feel about my own emotional fulfillment. And I will say from experience, when I looked deep at myself, and realised what actually made me happy, and what really does scare me, and my fears and my ways of thinking about things and what I truly desire about my life, when I actually started going after those things, my life changed so quickly. And those fears and worries completely melted away because I realised that they weren't mine. They were somebody else's. And it was only in that vulnerability of my feelings and my emotions that I have become extremely brave and have found emotional fulfillment in myself. No external needs necessary, if that makes sense. And I hope this helps. I'm not going to keep it any longer than that. But yeah, if you're finding yourself in not in a emotionally fulfilled state, then look inside yourself, not outside of yourself.